Welcome YouTube, my name's Mac.
And my name's Sean.
We're bringing you our first video of our channel ever. We're super excited, so let's begin. For this first video, we wanted to just kind of talk about how COVID-19 has impacted our lives and what are some of the things we've kind of done to navigate through these difficult times, and then also some things that we've kind of learned as we're starting to transition out of the whole pandemic into a more normal world. Let's begin. Alrighty, so let me ask the first question. What were some of the things that we've done to kind of help us get through these challenging times of COVID? I'll start with you, Sean.
Yeah, something that really helped me in getting through COVID was staying active. Staying active not only just physically, but also keeping mentally active. I was lucky enough to have a job where I was considered an essential worker. So I was able to continue to work and see coworkers. So there was some socialization aspect of it, but being pretty extroverted myself, I really like to be able to stay in contact with my friends and seeing them constantly, and that was something that was taken away. I really stayed very connected to my friends and family by doing a lot of Zoom calls, FaceTiming with WhatsApp, just normal phone calling, and then staying active, like going running every day. I tried to get my health in check. I started to learn a little bit more about nutrition, and that's something that we'll talk about in one of our future videos about health, is how nutrition has impacted both of us. But I think the main thing that I've taken away and how I got through COVID was by staying active both mentally and physically. Now, what about you, Mac?
I would say my coping strategies was very similar to Sean's, in that I try my best to prioritize a lot of the socialization aspects as I could, and then also just trying to keep active, watch after my health and also my mental health as well. So some of the things that have really helped me was just simply taking that half hour out of my lunch and just going for a walk around my neighborhood. I found just getting outside and just kind of getting that fresh air, the sun, the wind in your face just really helps give you that little bit of like uplifting energy just to get you through the day. And just like small daily habits and doing things like that really help lower my stress. One thing that I really like to do as well is try to stay connected to my friends and family. And of course, during the pandemic, there was a lot of restrictions where just that face-to-face contact was taken away from us. That being said, I knew it was still really important for me to actually see my friend's face and just talk to people as if nothing was going on in the world. So quite often I'll call up Sean or a few of my other friends or even like my grandparents and just, chat to them about how their day is going and just kind of like how life is going in general. And I just find kind of hearing their voices makes me in a calmer mood, and I'm able to just kind of like watch over my mental health a little bit more. And then lastly, I'm always someone that really enjoys being active and fit. And of course, because the gyms weren't open, I try my best to kind of just do what I can in my basement. Whatever I could do to break a sweat and just hustle is what I did. And I found that was better than just simply not doing anything, watching Netflix and eating potato chips. So yeah, those were some of the things that have really helped me.
So those are some of the things that we had talked about that had helped us get through COVID, just on like a high-end level. We're still obviously in the thick of things. It's every day there's more struggles happening, but something that we've talked about where it's helped us get through these COVID times. We've been in this for over almost a year and a half now, and something that we started to have a little bit of a discussion about is what are some of the takeaways, what are some of the things that we've learned, and how can we implement those into the future when the pandemic actually comes to end, probably end of this year, next year. So I'd like to ask you, Mac, what are one of the biggest takeaways that you learned, and how are you going to take that and move forward?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think during all this time of kind of isolation, it's really allowed me to have the opportunity to pause and just really reflect about my life and kind of like where I'm currently at. So it's allowed me to kind of just give myself a bit of a reset where I can assess my goals and just see if I'm comfortable with where I'm currently at. And right now, I feel like there's a lot I should be doing. I feel like there's more goal setting I should be doing, saving up for the future, trying to move out, graduate, all that fun stuff. But also on a deeper level as well, like kind of like what I can do as a person to kind of have more of an impact on those around me, like my friends and family. So I think what it just really boils down to, and what I'm really trying to say is like, I have to learn to be more proactive and seize the opportunity. Because I know sometimes when it's taken away from you like that, your chances of doing what you need to do are missed. So that's one thing that I'm definitely going to try to do more of now that we're coming out of COVID. I want to be more proactive. If I see an opportunity in front of me, when I don't take any shots, I know I'm going to miss all of them. But if I just kind of put myself in those positions where it kind of makes me a little bit uncomfortable, I tend to grow more. And I think that's just the mindset that I've really adopted now, is learning to expand my comfort zones and just grow myself as a person. And now, how about you, Sean?
I think when I look back in like hindsight up to now since the pandemic, I feel like I've matured a lot and I've grown a lot compared to where I was in 2019 in the beginning of 2020, that time frame. I think something that really stood out to me is that, you know, you can get really caught up in life and like the fast lifestyle that you have if you're always going out with your friends, or you have like these routines and habits that you're always following. I noticed when obviously the pandemic hit, everything came to a stop. So all you can do is just kind of be on your own and focus on your own thoughts. And I think in doing that and being, you know, removed from my daily habits and like my things that I would usually do, my normal lifestyle, I realized that, you know, a lot of the stuff I was doing was not actually that important. You know, I was hanging out with people that, you know, didn't actually care for me, or I was hanging out with people who probably weren't the best influences for me. So I started to, I guess, just question why I was doing what I was doing and, you know, where I wanted to go. And I've spent the last year and a half just trying to surround myself with people who are aligned with that. And I'm not saying, you know, like they have to be like these stellar people. It's just that I just want people around me who want the best for me. And I think in doing so and almost like isolating myself from some of the bad people that I was around, I feel like I grew a lot because I started to look at goals and be focused on my future. What does that look like for saving and budgeting and, you know, moving out, like, I don't know, preparing to have like my own place, you know, like buying my first condo, things like that. Whereas I wasn't having those thoughts and conversations until after like the middle of the pandemic, really, until I started surrounding myself with those types of people. So I think one of the biggest takeaways is association. Obviously the limitation of socialization can be seen as negative during the pandemic, but in my case, there was some level of positivity behind it. So it was almost like a silver lining. I feel like that's the biggest takeaway. And I think moving forward, you know, outside the pandemic, I'm just going to continue to focus on my myself and my healthy friend circle, and look to just make the best out of life as I turn 30 soon.
Cool. Yeah, that was a lot of insightful stuff that we talked about today. I really like how me and you both touched on the element of trying to stay active and just watch over our mental health. And you also touched on some good points too, how we are able to see COVID as some sort of a learning opportunity, see some positive aspects in such a difficult time, and learn to find new ways to transition out of that.